the mountains. Like before, you can see them. Now you can. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about some of like how I was acting in the video prior to the Steven Anderson uh rebuttal is what you would call that kind of video. Is rebuttal the right word? Because I wanted to talk about my biggest problems with yeah, by the way, it's not like I don't understand where he's coming from. Where I've become discontented with the political system. It's just I would not wish ill upon people because I'm not a garbage human being. And he is kind of a garbage human being, in my opinion. Now off of that, Steven Anderson rubbish. Yeah, look, the clouds. That's so cool. It is so cool. I want to talk about my behavior in the video prior to the other one. In my video prior to that one, because I felt like I had been like talking in a way that I shouldn't have been talking. And well, for one, in public you're talking about a politically divisive issue, right wing, left wing, you know, that's divisive as it is. Probably shouldn't have been talking about that any less, yelling about it, because you know what does that do, that what does that show you, say about you in public? It doesn't paint you very well in public. It paints you as a short-tempered, brash guy. And this is why I tell people, don't be worried constantly about people's beliefs. Because if you're so constantly worried about people's beliefs, you know, it's a good lesson for social justice warriors. I'm still having to learn to actually rid myself of this attachment to constantly have to worry about these things. Because A, they've probably already been talked about before. But I'm also using these subjects as an opportunity to actually build my abilities of reason. Because I'm starting to actually examine these things. Or either that or starting to become more vocal about my concerns. Yeah, this is the trail that I walked on. This is the trail that I walked on the other day. And this is like really cool. And I used the word like, I used an F word, and it sure ain't, and it sure, I used an F word in one of my videos, particular one that YouTube doesn't like. I need to go through that video and edit it. But unfortunately, I'll just leave it the way it is. If YouTube makes a big deal about it, yeah, so what? I don't care. You know, because I'm not spouting anti-homosexual sentiment. I'm just stating a point that is like, yeah, this is clear day. Oh, smells nice too. And I'm like, this is one of the big problems with, like, my generation. My generation had to live through the satanic panic, through the butt end of the satanic panic, but we lived through it. It wasn't as bad for me as it was for my siblings. You know, and I find it I just find it dumb that we as a species get so attached to these things. We get so hung up on minutia, like whose God do you worship, or whose pastor you listen to. Well, like this stupid garbage that people shouldn't be getting upset about. It's minute. It is so minute that you and or we get so hung up on some thing that someone said, like Donald Trump, like, or some attitude that some guy has, like Donald Trump. Like, for instance, Donald Trump being prideful. That we would wish ill upon other people. That we would spitefully just wish, because I don't like that person. He's prideful. I mean, pride is a thing that I myself do not shun, but criticize. I don't outright shun it, because it's like such a minute thing that people. It's such a minute thing, you know. Like, I'm like, what? You'd rather watch an entire people suffer if it brings people to God? Did I hear you say that? The fuck, man? The fuck, man? What did you say? You know, should do this stuff when I'm not around people. I should actually talk about this stuff when I'm not around people, because, it'd be wiser to go on a trail like this and not be yelling. I was balls to the wall. Be yelling. Like, you're gonna tell me that you got too many attachments, dude. You know, too much pent up anger, too much discontent. You know, like, too much discontent. And I get it. I get why people would be like that. I get why people would probably want to bring the system down, because they don't like what it has become. They don't like what it is. If the system's going to come down, I'm not going to wish it, because I know what happens when that happens. I know it's going to happen, or it may happen. Who knows? Eventually, things do come crashing down. I don't think wishing ill on the people because of how they lived and why they lived is the right way to go about things. I think it's sad that I hear human beings like these Marxists, rather than working with the system that we got, they just want to bring it down. They feel it's a lot easier. It's probably easier to work with the system. Look at all that. Beautiful. It just looks a lot better. You can see a lot more out here nowadays. Now that the smoke has kind of dissipated because of the rain. But I really maybe we'll come down here onto the other trail, show you the other, or not the other trail, but the other part of this trail, because there is another part of this trail. And I would like to go down. I don't know why it is. Well, I'm afraid that someone might slip. And there's someone behind me. So I might as well move. Yeah. Oh. Whoa. That's it. Yeah. You know, people, they're good people. They're good people. You know, they're not Mormons. I mean, they're good people. I mean, I think this getting out of this. I listen. I hear people so discontent that things aren't the way they want it. And I wish ill upon people. You know, how is wishing ill upon people gonna convince people that you're right? Now, what it is gonna sound like a whiny little bitch, like a whiny little fucking Marxist bitch. That is for that Steven Anderson dude. Like, I watched another one of his videos yesterday where he was probably from 2016, where he was going off about Trump being wicked. The fuck you tell me? You tell me Trump is wicked? I could care less if a guy was prideful. You know, at the very least, he got people out of the Middle East. You know, you can at least say that he did that. You can at least say that. But instead, you go off on the guy. I don't know what his views on Trump are now. I hope he's putting his face in his hands. Yeah, at least now you can say that he got people out of the Middle East, has done more for Israel. Well, of course you're anti-Zionist. You don't like Israel. You don't like the Jews. Well, those aren't the real Jews. You know, you're like every other fucking sect of Jews. Yeah, Christians are Jews because you believe in the resurrection. Therefore, you are a Jew. You're as much a Jew. Also, because you take the Old Testament as your book. You know. Thank God, it's so beautiful. There's no way I don't walk this route. But it's all spider webs. It's all beautiful. I want to kind of walk this route because I don't think I've shown this off before. It's like, yeah, I forgot you're in this guy's so anti-Israel. Like, I could care less what Israel is, as long as they're not starting shit in the Middle East. As long as they're not starting wars in the Middle East, I could care less. Well, it's not truly Israel. At least you recognize it's not truly Israel. It is not the Israel which is to be made when Christ comes. You know, At least he recognizes that, but like seriously, they're not doing anything to you. They're not starting wars with you. They're not starting wars with America. So that's a plus. They're not starting political rivalries in other countries. Like, seriously, dude. Take a chill pill. I just think, and you get these SJWs on the other, on one side, and another side, that are like we need to take the system down. We need to defund the police. You know, yeah, Christianity, the religion of anarchy, the religion of take down the government. Yeah, I guess that Steven Anderson dude was an anarchist. He does act like an anarchist. Or has acted like an anarchist. Like, it's beautiful. And I'm on the other side of the area. I don't know if that can be walked on. I don't know. Walk on this, but I've never been around here before. I don't know. This is like private land or whatnot. Bird house. But I didn't mean to. I was just like, I don't know these. Well, it's like, holy crap. Like, just looking at what people have said over the past 5 years, and knowing that I was criticizing some of these people all the way back then. All the way back through those 5 years. On my own 5-year mission. It's like, damn. I don't think this is... I don't think I'm supposed to be here. I think I need to go... It's like... It's interesting. This is private property, yeah. I figured. It's like... I think I'm kind of being not a fool, but yeah. Like, wow, it's all cleared up. Relating to these. I'll just put this video in the other video, and yeah, because I used the word, naughty word. Well, did I mean ill with it? I think that video will probably be a BitChute video, BitChute exclusive. I think I will probably take down the Steven Anderson video, because I just, mainly for the fact that yeah, there are some words that I probably used in that video that I'd like to actually edit out, just for the mere fact that, you know what, I'm probably not gonna. I'm debating whether I should edit that, some of those words out. One of those words out, and I probably shouldn't, because I'm that much about Constitution, about freedom of speech, freedom of expression. It's not like I mean ill, you know. Unlike the left or the right, or elements of the right. I don't know how far the right is in that, but I know there are elements of the right. See, I'm not one of those. Like, I agree with Anderson on the whole listening to conservative talk. Like, the Republican Party is God's party. Nonsense. The whole satanic garbage. The whole satanic garbage. I get it. I get it. I get it. And I'm glad that he actually sees that, because that's something that very few people see. As very few people see that. As far as I'm concerned, in regards to the Christian conceptualization of that sort of world, of the Christian conceptualization of that, of the Antichrist, that's something that people really should be careful with. How do you know that the Republican Party isn't the party of Satan? I was amazed that someone actually has eyes to see, ears to hear, at least enough to know that's not necessarily true. Because if they were truly the party of God, they wouldn't be trying to pander to people, And I'm more concerned about the pandering than I am concerned about whether they follow the Bible, because I don't really follow the Bible myself. I don't care for a lot of things in the Bible when it pertains to these laws that are so archaic. Like, if you really care about living biblically according to the Bible, then actually live. Then live. It's like, then live according to the law. Regardless of whether you're supposed to or not, it's right. The law is right. And you don't need to do it for righteousness. You're kind of advocating that anyway. You're kind of advocating that people should live according to the law, when the law is reckoned dead in Christ. The law is not needed anymore. You're kind of acting like a Second Temple rabbinical Jew. And I'm not saying live your life wrong. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that you don't even need laws. You don't even need the Bible to be a decent human being. Like if you need the Bible to be a decent human being, then you lack empathy. Then you're I think a psychopath is what you are. You're a psychopath. And psychopaths are just terrible human beings who didn't ask to be terrible human beings. They're just thrust in the situation being terrible human beings. It's not really their fault. So I don't really, I just think people are either born, it's either ignorance, and ignorance isn't something to condemn a person for. You know, Jesus said, judge not lest ye be judged. You could also apply that to condemning because to condemn because to because that same attitude that one uses can be used against you. I've talked about this in one of my more recent videos. You know, the idea that we as human beings shouldn't be casting judgment or condemnations upon people because of ignorance. That's why I don't like the concept of hell. The concept of hell is not because I'm immoral. It's because I don't think that this is right. I don't think people completely actively choose to live to be evil. And it's this ludicrous to think that someone should be punished for something they never really intended to do in the first completely intended to do in the first place. It's just ridiculous how we have done this to ourselves, how we have kind of how we have kind of talked about we talk about we talk about attachments. We talk about these things that we've become so um well, rather I talk about them, but we basically do things to ourselves to put ourselves in these situations where we're spiteful, where we're angry at the world. May God send a flood to destroy mankind, because it's clear. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. It's like look at this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. You know, this matters more than some horseshit about God. You know, some horseshit we passed off. It matters more than any. This beautiful creation of God. Why else would you praise God? And yet I recognize that that this is not all that there is. I recognize that this is not all that there is. That there's more to the world than what we're told. And very few people do so. Very few people recognize that. And it's the sad reality. We're so blind by ideology, so looking for a truth outside of ourselves. We think that the idol is God. Like Shiva is the Shiva. Like Shiva is an idol. Can be. I'm not saying that the statue can't be one. We all got idols. Like Steven Anderson pointed out, these Republicans' idol is that blinds them from the reality that their party may be working for Satan. Something they should consider as an idol. It's an idol. That is a... See, idols don't have to be things that blind us from God. Idols can be things which blind us from reality. You know, false perceptions of reality, false points of view of reality. And they do exist. False understandings of reality that push us in the wrong direction. See, people like to think, but at the same time, not everyone realizes that they themselves too would push that. They themselves too are kind of pushing these false things. So there's this sort of blindness to all this. The human being. And I feel like I haven't been accounting the human variable in my own life to what I've been doing lately. To what I've been saying and carrying out my life. This life that exists. We can see mountains. And I feel like I need to do more. So, when I heard the guy going off about one of this Hindu guy going off about, or this former Hindu, you're always a Hindu whether you leave your religious practice you were a part of, talking about how the Hindus worship idols. Like you're still worshiping an idol. So hearing this Hindu guy who's a Christian, by the way, Hinduism is a culture, and Hindu or Hindus, or derived from the word Indus, is the name of a people. But seeing this Hindu guy who became a Christian talking about how Hindus worship false idols, or worship idols, I should say. An idol, by its very nature, is a false idol. Because what's an idol? What's the worst kind of idolatry? I can tell you what the worst kind of idolatry is. The worst kind of idolatry, and I don't go after the people who think that, because they don't. They're rational. Shiva is a thing out in this somewhere, is an energy force. It's a way of us communicating with these energy forces. That's what it is. It's not that they think these things are literally idols. And I've already gone through some of the stuff in some recent videos, shown you how it's more than just simply more than simply saying iconography is the thing. That's a fallacy. That is a fallacy. I think it's a fallacy. I don't know what fallacy that is, but it's a fallacy. You know, like people. You know, like you people. Or those people. Yeah. What am I saying? It's like you don't understand things. And that's not surprising. This guy sounded like he left ignorance, which he would have been better off in the ignorance that he was in. But instead he had to adopt the ignorance of Christianity, the ignorance of Islam, the ignorance of of false equivalencies and false, like, I don't have a problem with Christians. I don't have a problem with Christians or Muslims as long as they're not dumbasses. But I still do not like the religion because it's rooted in some way, shape, or form in that sort of false equivalencies. What is the false equivalencies, and what else? What is that one other thing? False, what was that thing that I said? Fallacies. False equivalencies and fallacies. And whatever logical inconsistencies you can think of. It's like, you're telling me you left, like, you never understood your religion to begin with. You never understood your religion to begin with. I'm not going to say good, because I'm not like you. Like, I'm not like you. I actually want you to come to realize that maybe that might not have been the best decision. Because if you really care about truth, you would actually dig into the writings of your religion, read the Upanishads, read the Vedas. Read the Vedas and the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and actually study it. If you didn't like bowing down to false idols, you could have become an Advaita Vedanta, where Vedantists, I mean, there's people who don't, there's something in there for everyone. If you wanted to find the truth, I mean, the truth probably was staring you in the face. And you didn't have the care in the world. Either that or you were ignorant. And it's sad. You know? And I'm not saying Hinduism's the truth. But the truth can be found in it. Because what is all this iconography?